Hello, everybody. Welcome back. This is the NW Sportscast. Today, we got a lot on our plate. Russell Wilson, he's released his preferred trade destinations. Who knows what that means? We'll have a lot to discuss about that. Also, in local news, the Seahawks division just got that much harder. A big free agent just went to the Arizona Cardinals as of yesterday. We'll discuss all of that and more NFL news. Plus, we'll give our MLB season predictions as spring training has just gotten underway. All that and a lot more on today's episode of the NW Sportscast.
Yes. It's going to be a good episode. Excited to get into it. You want to just start off with quickly, I heard Seth's thoughts on J.J. Watt. He did a video, an instant reaction. Go check that out. But, before we get started, leave a like, comment, subscribe. But J.J. Watt, I think that it was a really good move for the Cardinals because right now, if they actually are trying to contend while Kyler Murray is still in his rookie contract deal in a super, super crowded division, they're going to have to get better. And the J.J. Watt move, I still think he's an elite pass rusher. He's going to make that team better. Obviously, he's a really good player, but he's also a vet. He can lead some young guys. And that defense is going to be really, really good next year. And then obviously, you have Kyler Murray, D-Hop. That team's overall going to be really good. I see why the Cardinals did it, but what I'm more confused about really is why J.J. Watt went to the Cardinals. I know why the Cardinals signed J.J. Watt, but I'm just kind of confused why J.J. Watt went to the Cardinals and not like to, I don't know, the Packers or something. Somebody you would think are a little more of a Super Bowl contender. Yeah,
it is interesting because I saw the Peloton account thing, and it seemed like maybe that was indicating he would go to Buffalo or Green Bay or Cleveland. And it turns out he goes to the Cardinals, who weren't even in the top 10 in the betting odds. So a lot of people lost money betting for any team that wasn't the Cardinals. Nobody even expected he would go to the Cardinals.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the move for Arizona, honestly. I like the move for Arizona. I just think that the one thing is they get given quite a bit of money, but not too much, $15 million a year. But this will take up cap space for guys like Hassan Reddick, who was third in the league in sacks last year, believe it or not. They're one of their young rising prominent defensive players who is now a free agent. So they can basically either re-sign Patrick Peterson or Hassan Reddick. Maybe not even either of them. So it is a big cap hit move, but it's a win now move. They're trying to win soon, and they're trying to win now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they've spotted a weakness in the division. They think they can go for it. It's just interesting because all four teams for the second straight year, I feel like all four teams in the NFC West have a legitimate shot of winning it, and that's pretty crazy. That doesn't happen much, but this is back-to-back years now. And the Cardinals are now kind of saying, look, well, the Rams went out and got a new quarterback. Now the Cardinals getting a new pass rusher. I feel like that puts more pressure on the Seahawks. Now what are we going to do to respond to that? And obviously we know the 49ers, they're going to be getting Jimmy Garoppolo back. They're going to get Nick Bosa back. So they're going to be on the upside as well. So it kind of sounds like the pressure is now on Seattle. How do we respond to these? What do you think, Seth? Will Seattle make a big move like the Rams and the Cardinals did?
I'd say no. I think the Seahawks are very intent on having Shane Waldron come in, try to fix the offense. We're not going to do anything fancy. We're going to keep Russell Wilson at least this year, and we're going to try to play it out with this team, maybe make a couple small offensive line or defensive player signings. But at the end of the day, I don't see the Hawks right now making a big move. And honestly, it's kind of unfortunate because I think that we might fall to second or third in this division on how stacked it is now.
Well, quite honestly, I agree with you, Seth, other than the fact that I still think that we have the ability to win 12 games next year, even with the same team. And honestly, I think 12 games will win us the division just because we'll beat up on each other so much. My very early prediction, I think we can win 12, Niners win 11, Rams win 11, Cardinals winning 10. That's a lot of wins in the division. Probably won't happen depending on injuries, but I still think we're the best team just slightly because of how much we're going to beat up on each other in the West.
Yeah.
And no matter what way you swing it, Drew, do we still have the best quarterback?
Yeah. I mean, right now we have the best quarterback. Are we going to have the best quarterback in a month? Hopefully. I still think we will, but I mean, guys, this division was the best going into.
What if Deshaun actually gets traded to San Francisco?
Yeah, then that would.
They would become
Russ
the
still the
Super
best?
Bowl. No, No,
Is Russ still
probably
the
not.
best quarterback in the division?
I'm
Probably
just
not.
gonna.
Or I don't. They're really close. I would say yes. I would say yes. He is.
I would say a little better, but I'm just
Okay.
gonna go back to my point. Like going into the season, right? We were the best division in football. And what happened in the offseason? Nothing really got lost, to be completely honest. And we gained Matthew Stafford, a top 10 quarterback, and then we got J.J. Watt in the division. This division is just so stacked. I don't know. Like I feel like we are going to be up on each other a lot. Like Levi said, I don't predict having a 3-team or 4-team playoff next year. But that's just simply because there's going to be a lot of 1-1 type divisions. I think the Seahawks might split with every single team in our division. I think we might end up, 10-6, 9-7. And I think there's going to be a lot of other teams in the NFC West that also end up 9-7, 10-6. And I just don't think that might be enough to get 3 in. But either way, this division's really stacked. And I don't know what JJ Watt was thinking quite. Levi, if you were JJ Watt, who do you go to? Let's say you're getting $11 million, so a little less.
So if I'm JJ Watt for $11 million,
you're getting a little less.
I'm probably going to Tampa Bay, to be honest.
Okay, yeah, but someone else. That's a pretty obvious answer. Let's like anybody else other than Tampa. I feel like they can't really afford that.
All right, sure. I mean, Green Bay would looks like a good option, but honestly, I'd probably prefer Buffalo if I'm JJ Watt. I'd probably prefer Buffalo. Now, really quick, going off what you said about. Oh yeah, Seth, you first.
No, you're good. No, you're good.
Oh well, yeah, I was just gonna say, going off what Drew said about not sure if we can get 3 teams from the West in there in the playoffs. Right now, yeah, I kind of agree with you. Like the chances of us getting 3 teams in as all 3 wildcard teams being from the West plus the division leader, it seems like it's not much. But then when I look at the rest of the league, I'm thinking like the NFC East, okay, they're trash. They're getting only 1 team in. The NFC North, besides the Packers, that's going to be tough. Maybe the Bears.
The Vikings
have
might rebound.
Yeah, the Vikings could rebound. But at the same time, I still prefer the 49ers and the Cardinals over the Vikings. And then I look at the South and I'm thinking, what happens to the Saints if Drew Brees isn't there? Who knows?
What if he's there?
The Panthers are probably the other dark horse to get a playoff spot. But right now, just talent-wise, I would give I think the Hawks, Niners, and Rams are all probably making the playoffs. And I'd give that final spot probably a tie right now between the Saints and the Cardinals. But I don't know which one of them I'd prefer. But it depends. If the Saints don't get Breeze back, I don't know what to think about that.
Yeah. And speaking of the NFC West in divisions, this division is about to get a lot worse if Russell Wilson leaves. So let's segue to that conversation. I made a video probably 3 weeks ago when the first Russell Wilson rumors were happening, the first wave of Russell Wilson rumors. And I said a video, why Russell Wilson is not getting traded, right? And I still stand by that video. I still think that it holds truth. However, there was then a little bit of a downslide, and then a second wave of Russell Wilson trade talk happened. And it was a lot about him being like, I don't want to get traded, but if I had to get traded, here's the teams blank that I would want to go to, right? And there has to be a reason behind that. If that's just his agent just stirring something up, that's a really bad agent. I would not want the agent, but there has to be something behind Russell Wilson's mind that actually did think that. I'm getting a little more nervous. I do think we're going to keep him, but I'm just getting scared because if we lose Russ, I don't think we're going to be a contender for the next 3 years or whatever.
Yeah, I agree with you on all that. All the points are great there. I think the cap hit we'd take if we trade Russ is just too much this year. But I think next season the talks could heat back up again if we don't make a deep playoff run. And there still is a chance, because why would you go out and say, I want to go to these 4 teams if I got to get traded? So he obviously has a little bit of doubt in his mind and a little bit of feeling that maybe I do want to leave Seattle and maybe I will politely request a trade in the near future. And his agent is kind of a weirdo. I mean, he likes to start drama. He does a lot of things. He talks for Wilson quite a bit, which is an interesting choice of an agent. But I think Russ still has a little bit of uncertainty about Seattle. And of course he does. We know that. And I think there is a small shot that he says, okay, I want to get traded. Figure out how to trade me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is interesting what I've seen in the past couple of days. The mayor of New Orleans getting into a Twitter argument with the mayor of Seattle over which city would rather have Russell Wilson. Then you get major sports networks, ESPN, Fox Sports, major analysts making these, I would say, call them absurd claims that the Cowboys might trade for Russell Wilson. And talking about how Russell Wilson could be a better fit in Dallas than in Seattle makes no sense to me, but that's what I've heard from some national media members. And then also getting these Bears players who are coming out and saying they want Russ on the Bears. Tariq Cohen is seeming to be recruiting him. So 3 teams now seem to be in the mix.
I'll ask you this question: like, who doesn't want Russell Wilson, right? There's probably about 7 teams. There's just come to mind. There's the Chiefs. There's the Bills. There's
probably
the
Ravens, Packers.
There's the Ravens. There's the Chargers. I don't think they want a quarterback. And maybe there's the Cardinals. But like everybody else would love a Russell Wilson. And I think that, you know, if the Seahawks want to trade Russell Wilson, they're going to get a lot for him. And that's just, you know, supply and demand. There's one Russell Wilson, and there's about 12 teams that want a Russell Wilson. So, I mean, guys, look, if we can get 3 firsts, 4 firsts for Russell Wilson, I don't know. It's worth looking into, but I do think that's beneficial for our team to keep him. But next year, if we still can get, you know, three firsts maybe, I do think we should look into it depending on how deep of a playoff run we get into next year. But any closing statements, guys, before we move on?
I mean, I'll just say this. I prefer when players stay with the team for their whole career. I think there's a sense of loyalty that I just kind of like to see. Guys like Felix Hernandez, like I think he stuck with the Mariners even through losing seasons. He showed a lot of loyalty, and Russell Wilson, he's had a lot better run than Felix did with the Mariners. I really hope he stays. I think it would be great if he stays, be loyal to the city, and the Seahawks can be more loyal to him, be loyal to your star quarterback, and actually try to give him some more management, better decisions. I feel like both sides are getting frustrated, but they can still easily work it out. You know, just like the Beatles say, we can work it out. They can work it out. It shouldn't be that hard.
Yeah. Yeah, and like you said in the first round pick thing, I would honestly take 3 firsts and a player.
Right now.
Maybe 2 players for Russell Wilson. I would honestly consider that. But do I want that to happen? No, I still would rather have Russell Wilson because he's a generational talent. We know that. There's not going to be another Russell Wilson. I mean, maybe the same play style, but Russell Wilson is Russell Wilson. He was the first guy like this that's a strong arm scrambler. He's also very good, like he has a good arm as well, and he can lead a team. And Russell Wilson is just that guy. And it'll be tough. Any trade package will be tough to even look at, but we're gonna have to start doing that. We have to prepare for that.
Yeah. So are we going to move on to where our predictions for every MLB team? And I think that's just pretty much going to be, are they going to make the playoffs or are they not going to make the playoffs? And what do you want to do, guys? Do you want to do 20 seconds?
Yeah, sure. We can go for 20 seconds, alternating between the 3 of us.
Yeah, so that's a minute per team. That's 30 minutes, actually. So are we just going to do 20 seconds and each person gets a different team?
Yeah, sure.
You want to just do that? Okay.
Yeah, each person is different.
I have the list, and do you want to go by division or do you want to go by what?
Yeah, we can just go by division. That would probably be easier.
Yeah, okay. So let me get my clock up, and Seth, you want to go first?
Sure.
Okay. So I'm going to start the timer. Okay. 1 second. Okay, so first team, let's start with the AL East. And you're going to start with the Blue Jays. Ready, go.
I think the Blue Jays are definitely a contender for a playoff spot, but I think there's just too many better teams. I think they're a year or two away. Vlad Guerrero Jr. is going to be a huge role in their success. He's lost 40 pounds. He could be an absolute monster. But I'm still going to say miss the playoffs for now, at least this season. They got a bright future, though. I mean, they brought in George Springer, I think it was, and they have a good pitcher rotation. But I think they're
Okay.
2 or 1 years away from making a playoff team, making a deep run.
Yeah. Okay. Levi, you want to go with the Red Sox? Go.
Sure. Well, the Red Sox, they're definitely not the worst team in this division, but they're not the best. I think the chances of them winning this division are minuscule. Maybe they can contend for a wild card, but probably not. They shipped off Andrew Benintendi, and they have, as far as I know, they have not re-signed Jackie Bradley Jr. either. So this team is
2 seconds.
This team is starting to get a lot worse. They are going to be a losing
there we
team
go.
this year.
Okay, I have the Rays. I think the Rays are going to make the playoffs again. I think they are going to be second in the division and get a wild card spot. However, I think that's pretty reasonable. They still have a lot of good pieces, but I don't think they're going to remake the magic they did last season and get to the World Series. Seth, you want to go with the Orioles?
Yeah. Well, this one was the Yankees. Sure, I'll go with the Orioles. What's up?
Yeah, you do the Yankees. Do the Yankees.
Oh, you want me to do the Yankees?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm a Yankees fan. I know Mariners fans will probably hate me for saying this on a Seattle sports channel, but I think the Yankees definitely are a playoff team, 100%. We're World Series contenders. Hopefully Judge can stay healthy and Stanton and the whole squad. We have young players as well, and I think this team with the young and the veterans can be a World Series team this year and next year.
Yeah. Levi, Orioles.
All right. Well, look, the Orioles have been bad for the past 2 seasons, and they're going to be bad again. They have a lot of very bad players. They will get Trey Mancini back, but to be honest, the only reason I'm going to care about the Orioles is because I want to see what Felix will do with them and if he can remake his Hall of Fame career. But besides that, the Orioles suck. They're the worst team in the league, possibly the worst team in the entire MLB.
And you're done. Okay. Now we're going to be going to the AL Central, and I'm going to start off with the Royals. Okay, I think the Royals are not going to make the playoffs. I think that they are going to be a sub 500 team. They have who do they even have? They have like Mondesi, the shortstop, and I can't really think of anybody else right now, but I just think
Merrifield.
Yeah, Merrifield obviously, but I just think they're going to be a sub 500 team. They're not there yet. Okay. Seth, White Sox, pretty good team last year. Okay, ready, go.
Okay, so the White Sox, I think this actually is a playoff team in my life, but they're very often MVP season. They brought in who's the catcher they brought in? They brought in some catcher, I think. They have Tim Anderson. They have a lot of solid players. This team made a playoff last year. I think I'm pretty sure they made a playoff spot last year. This is a solid all-around, well-built team, a great organization.
Okay, Levi, you want to do the Indians next?
Sure, I'll go with the Indians. So the Indians, I think they will be contenders. I think they will miss a playoff spot, however, because when I look at that division, the Twins have a really good roster and the White Sox have a really good roster. So the Indians are kind of the odd men out in that division. They're still good, but after losing Mike Clevenger, losing Francisco Lindor, this team is not as good as they used to be.
You're done. Okay, the Indians are off the board. Now, I guess I'll go with let's go with the Tigers. So, the Tigers, let's start timer. Those Tigers are really, really bad. They're going to continue to be really, really bad. They're going to be a bottom 5 team in the MLB next year, continuing. I honestly don't know if they have any good prospects, what their future is looking like. They have I can't even name a player from that team, but
they still have
Miggy.
They still have old man Miggy.
Yeah, I guess. I meant
he kind of sucks now.
Player.
Yeah, their rotation's all right, and they have a prospect, Casey Mize, who's going to come up soon, but they don't look very good, especially on offense.
Okay.
Least home runs for the past 3 seasons.
Seth, you want the Twins, final team in the AL Central?
Yes, I think the Twins are definitely a playoff team. They have a really solid rotation. Plus, they have they brought in Josh Donaldson, right? I think they brought in Josh Donaldson. They have a lot of good skill position players. Max Kepler. They got some other guys there as well. And I think this team is a playoff team. They're probably going to end up winning this division, honestly, at the end of the day. Or the White Sox. This is a solid MLB team.
Yeah. Okay, Levi, we are going to move into our home division, the AL West. Start with the Angels and go.
The Angels, kind of like the Indians to me. I think they will be strong contenders, but I think they'll miss out on a playoff spot because there's just too many good teams in the AL that the Angels are kind of going to be the odd man out. Mike Trout, really, really good. And Andrelton Simmons, he's really good. Shohei Ohtani's really good, or at least he's supposed to be. But unfortunately, the Angels just don't have that great of a supporting cast. They have a lot of bad role players, a bad bullpen, a bad starting rotation.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, I'm going to take the Oakland Athletics and go. I envision the A's having an outside shot at winning this division. I still think the Astros are going to win it, but I think the A's are going to make the playoffs. I think they're going to sneak in as a wild card team. You still have Matt Chapman. You have a bunch of good pieces there, and pretty solid pitching rotation. I think they're going to get it done. I think they're going to sneak in like they always do. Seth, Rangers.
All right,
go.
Well, I don't really follow very much, and they're always bad. This team's going to miss the playoffs again because you have the A's, you have the Angels, you have the Astros. We're all three solid baseball teams, so they're definitely going to miss the playoffs. I'm not really sure if they're getting offseason moves. I honestly don't follow the Rangers at all, but they're going to miss the playoffs pretty bad.
Yep. And Levi lucks out. He's going to get 20 seconds to describe the Seattle Mariners. I'll start your timer. I'm going to be strict on this one, Levi. Okay, ready and go.
So for the Mariners, I do not think we will make the playoffs. I've kind of been back and forth on whether or not we are the worst team in this division or whether the Rangers are worse than us. I'm not so sure. I think we might be slightly worse right now, but who knows? If our prospects do good, maybe we can make a run at the playoffs. 5 seconds. I think we're 1 year away, but I'm going to say losing season and we're bottom 5 in the MLB.
And you're done. Okay, and there is the Mariners. Okay, now I have the Houston Astros, and I'm going to start my timer. Oh, shoot. Timer. Okay, Astros, right, didn't get World Series or anything crazy, but I still think they're going to be a good team. I think they're going to end up winning this division. They still have some good pieces. Obviously, you have Justin Verlander. And, I think they're going to make the division outside shot at getting to the World Series.
Yeah.
And
all right, NL. You guys are frozen. I lost you.
Yeah, and they traded JT, so yeah. I think that was a while ago though, but yeah. Okay, Levi.
Sorry, I lost you. Did you guys just do the Marlins?
Yes.
All right.
You want to take the Braves?
Sure, I'll take the Braves. All right, well, the Mets have definitely been making this division close, but I still think the Braves will win this division. A lot of people kind of think the Braves might have a down year. I disagree. I think they're a top 5 team in baseball. They're going to be right there with the Dodgers and Padres. I think they are definitely World Series contenders. The Braves are a really, really good team. A bunch of solid players. Freddie Freeman just coming off an MVP campaign.
You're done. Yeah, I agree with that. Okay, I'm going to take the Washington Nationals and go. Obviously, they had a really, really good season, winning the World Series the year before last, the last non-COVID year. They end up winning the World Series. I think they're going to get back into shape and end up making the playoffs with, Max Scherzer. I think they're going to be a surprise team. They're going to rebound. I don't know. I think last year was a little bit of a fluke, but yeah. Okay. And the Mets. Seth, go.
All right, well, I do love the Braves and I love the Mets. I think it'll be a battle for this division. I think the Mets will get a wild card spot, but I think they could make a very deep playoff run with bringing in Lindor. They have some of the best pitchers in rotation: Stroman, DeGrom, Syndergaard. This is a guaranteed playoff team. They're making huge, huge moves, and they're trying to go all in now. And this is going to be one of their seasons. This year, next year, maybe the third. They do their window.
Yeah. Levi. Last team in the division, someone who's pretty disappointing, the Phillies.
Yeah, well, the Phillies, for the past 3 seasons, they have been super, super average. I think this is another average season for the Phillies. They have some good players. They have some average players. They have some bad players. They don't really have a true superstar. Maybe Bryce Harper, but he hasn't played like a superstar the past couple seasons. Solid pieces around him, but not a playoff team.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, I have the Cardinals, and I'm going to go. Cardinals I think they're going to have a great shot at winning this division. Obviously, they just acquired Arenado, and they have Paul Goldschmidt. I just think they're going to be a really, really solid team in the NL Central, and they're going to end up winning this division by the skin of their teeth. And yeah, okay, Seth, Cubs.
They retained Bryant. They still have a lot of their guys, but I still think this team is getting up there in age most of the time. I think they brought in like Jock Peterson or something like that. They made a minor move, and I think they're going to contend for a playoff spot. But I think honestly they're going to borderline miss the playoffs barely, and I think they're going to miss the playoffs. I think this is going to be one of the surprising missed playoff teams.
Levi, Reds, and go.
All right, well, the Reds, they made the playoffs last year. They got really hot. Unfortunately for them, their best player from last year is no longer on the team. Trevor Bauer is obviously on the Dodgers now, so the Reds took a huge loss, and I think that's going to really hurt their team. I think the Reds are a below 500 team this year. They'll contend a little bit, but not much.
And you're done. Okay. Yeah, I agree with that. Let's go. I will take the Brewers. Okay. And here I go. The Brewers, man, they're a really interesting team. I believe they did make the playoffs last year. They actually had a really good season. I was pretty surprised by them. I think they're going to. Obviously, I said the Cardinals are going to win the division. I think they have the second best chances at winning this division, and I think they're going to sneak in as a wild card team. Yeah, the Brewers, if they get hot in the postseason, they could make a run. And Seth, Pirates, pretty irrelevant team, but you have 20 seconds. Ready?
Yeah, the Pirates are probably still the worst team in the NL. They're terrible. They didn't do any moves. They didn't really do anything. They have a pretty young organization, so they have an okay future. But this team is terrible. They're not going to make the playoffs. And unless they totally prove me wrong, surprise everyone, then they're going to be a bad team.
Yeah. Baseball's funny sometimes, but I'm going to agree with you there. Okay, let's move on to the NL West. Levi, take the Giants. Ready, go.
All right, well, the Giants are interesting because a lot of people thought they were going to suck last year, and then a bunch of their super old players ended up having really good seasons, and they almost made the playoffs. Will that happen again this year? No, it won't. The gap in the NL West right now is so huge. You've got the Dodgers way up here, the Padres are here, and then right over way down there is the Giants, Diamondbacks, and Rockies. The Giants are going to stink.
Seconds.
They're not making the playoffs. No way.
Yeah, I agree with you. The Giants have surprised us before, though. They're usually a really solid franchise. But yeah, I'm going to have to agree with you this one. I have the LA Dodgers. LA Dodgers are going to win the World Series straight up. That is my prediction going into the season. They're just way too stacked. They have Mookie. They have Clayton Kershaw. They just have so many pieces. You have like Corey Seager. You just have, you have all-star appearances just everywhere. Your team is just flooding with talent.
Mookie Betts now.
Yeah, they're going to win the World Series. They're too good. Okay. And Seth, we have how many teams left? We have 3 teams left. Perfect. One
Padres, Rockies, Diamondbacks.
Yeah. You want I'll let you choose. Go ahead.
No, I'll take one of those. I won't take the Padres. I'll take Diamondbacks.
Okay, ready, go.
All right. Well, the Diamondbacks kind of could be a sleeper team. I think they're still going to borderline miss the playoffs. I think this team could end up sticking to a wild card spot. They have Ketel Marte, one of the fair players in the league, former Mariner, who's MVP candidate a couple seasons ago. Madison Bumgarner's there as a pitching. They have an okay pitching staff and they have a pretty solid young team. Nick Ahmed, I think, one of their outfielders. This team could be sneaky.
Yeah. Diamondbacks are a surprise team for me too. Levi, Rockies or Padres?
Well, I'll just go with the Rockies here. If there's any team that could contend with the Pirates for being the worst team in the MLB, it's probably the Rockies. They traded away their best player, Nolan Arenado. Their pitchers always suck because they play in Coors Field. I mean, it's just not a good team right now. They don't have very many relevant players. Charlie Blackmon's getting old. Trevor Story is really good, but he's the only one there.
Yeah, agree. Okay, and I'm going to take the Padres. Ready, go. The Padres are my dark horse to win the World Series as well. They're going to be super, super good. This year, maybe next year, maybe the year after that is going to be their years. They have Manny Machado. They got, obviously, Tatis Jr., one of the best players in the league, maybe the best player in the league in some people's opinions. And they're going to be just super solid, really, really good. And they have Austin Nola, former Mariner, to a good catcher there. So that is that's our prediction for the MLB. Let's go over really quickly. In the AL East, I have the Yankees. Seth, you have the Yankees?
Yes.
Yeah,
Levi?
I have the Yankees also.
In the Central, Levi, what do you have?
I got the Twins edging out the White Sox.
I have the White Sox. And Seth?
Actually, I think I'm going to go Twins.
You're going to go Twins too. Okay, in the West, AL West, I'm going to pick the Astros. Levi?
It's super closest division, but I'm going to take the Astros as well.
And Seth?
The A's could
I'm going
definitely
to take the
win, though.
Oakland Athletics.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my second too. NL East, I'm going to go with the Braves.
Yeah, same here, Braves.
I think
There's the
I said
Mets.
earlier, I think it'll be battle between Mets and Braves. I'll go Braves as well.
Second place for me is actually the Phillies. I think they might have a chance.
Really?
Yeah. NL Central, Levi?
Cardinals by a long shot. I don't think any other team will contend.
Which is funny because, like we said in the Arenado trade, ESPN has the Brewers winning this division. So long shot,
I don't understand that.
Long shot, I don't think is the right word. I'm going to take the Cardinals, but I think Brewers are going to be a close second. Seth?
Yeah, I think I'm going to go Cardinals after the Northern to put them over the top and have former MVP Goldschmidt. I think Brewers.
Yeah.
The Brewers for the Brewers, it all relies on, can Christian Yelich have a bounce back season, or is he going to be as bad as he was last year?
They were still good without him last year. So if he bounces back.
I mean, they made the playoffs at 2 games below 500, and then they won a playoff game. But I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah, but they were good enough to make a playoff spot, and then they add Yelich. I mean, okay, and finally the NL West, pretty easy. Dodgers, Padres close second. My interesting is that my Padres and Dodgers are 1 and 2, and who I think are going to win the World Series. They're both in the same division, so I have Dodgers 1, Padres 2.
Yeah, same. I think the Padres are good, but they're just not on the same level as the Dodgers.
Yeah.
Mookie Betts, Cody Bellinger, that's stacked.
Yeah, you have Cody Bellinger. I didn't even mention Cody Bellinger when I was talking about the Dodgers. That's crazy.
Especially they're also getting David Price this season.
They're gonna win the World Series if they don't seriously screw up in the playoffs. They're gonna win this division. Yeah. I don't know if they. I mean, baseball is kind of weird in the playoffs sometimes. Some teams can get really hot, but this team's gonna be scary. Seth, I'm gonna guess you have the Dodgers too.
Yeah, I just had Dodgers as well, 100%.
Yeah.
You just look at their Dodgers. 3 former Cy Young Award winners, and also Walker Buehler, who could be a future Cy Young Award winner. That's their top 4 pitchers. If you look at their batters, they have 2 former MVPs, right? Bellinger and Betts. You got Corey Seager, who's one of the best players also. Justin Turner, really solid. And then you got your closer Kenley Jansen, who struggled last year, but he once was a reliever of the year. That is a stacked lineup, a stacked team.
Did you mention Kershaw? You did.
Yeah, Kershaw is one of the 3 former Cy Young Award winners, along with David Price, who opted out last year, and now Trevor Bauer, who they get from the Reds. So
their pitching rotation might be the most impressive thing, and that's kind of I mean, you look at their starting 9, and you're like, there's no way that their pitching staff is better than this, and it is. It's absolutely insane. But I think we're going to move on to any Mariner news / Mariner update, and then I think we're going to wrap it up.
Yeah, well, the big news today in all of baseball, but also for the Mariners, is that AAA and AA seasons are no longer going to start on time. This is pretty sad. So the Rainiers, obviously, that's the Mariners
especially
AAA
living
affiliate.
next to a AAA.
Yeah. So they are now pushing it back tentatively to May 8th instead of April 6th, which is when they were supposed to start. Pretty sad, but the big question is, will the Mariners still be content sending our prospects to the alternate training site and not calling them up, especially Jared Kelenic? Well, we've made it pretty clear our pitchers are not going to be called up. We want to save them for later. I guess we're kind of just expecting our pitchers to suck this year, and we want to save our young pitchers for later. But the big question is Jared Kelenic? What would you say, Drew? If you're the Mariners, can you honestly live with yourself putting Jared Kelenic in the alternate training site when there's not even going to be any AAA development happening there? It's literally just playing scrimmages against his teammates. How do you feel with your conscience if you're the Mariners GM by doing that? And I lost him. I lost Seth too. That's awesome. Sorry about this bad connection, everybody. Yeah, bad connection indeed.
Great.
Okay, yeah. So I was actually looking forward to going watching some Rainiers games. We live like a couple blocks away. I'm able to bike there basically, and pretty cheap tickets. But that sucks to see. I think Kelenic. You put him up in the developmental site until you're able to play games. I think you're able to live with yourself for that. That's not actually that big of a deal. I'm not sure what the.
Well, the thing is, there's talk that these alternate training sites might last further into the season, and that AAA and AA might not even play this year, which would be the second straight year of no minor leagues. If that happens, Jared Kelenic will not be getting any development in minor leagues. So at that point, there's no point to not call him up, in my opinion.
Yeah, it makes sense. And just going back to everything being canceled, just really, really sucks for AAA, AA, even single A teams where, it's some small towns, some little bigger towns, but they need the revenue from fans and radio ever to fund keeping the building up, fund the players, whatever, what have you. And it's super, super fun thing if you don't want to go all the way to a big city, just to go to a little small town or whatever and see some prospects that may be superstars in the upcoming years. And out of all the years to see some prospects, this would be the year. And, it just really sucks that we can't see Julio, Kelenic. It's really sad because the Mariners, we haven't been able to do that, obviously, last year. And this year, I thought we were going to be able to. And right now, it's not looking like it. But I keep my hope up that we will be able to see Julio, Kelenic, and that team play. And, I think that's going to be a show. I think we're good, guys. Thank you for watching. This is the NW Sportscast. Peace out. Like, subscribe, comment down below. Comment down below if you think Russell Wilson is leaving. If you think JJ Watt made a good decision. And if you think the AAA will play this year, I sure hope it does. But that's for watching. Go Hawks and go M's.
Yeah, go Hawks.